Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and a couple days ago I did a video on digestive enzymes, and that seems to have spurred quite a few people to ask me, well, what about probiotics? You don't think we really need digestive enzymes outside of under the care of a doctor with a prescription, that they're really pointless outside of that? But what about probiotics? Well, that's a good question. I hadn't really thought about people asking about probiotics because I see them as very useful but having a very limited use. Now, as far as probiotics go, I don't necessarily trust the supplement industry to make a probiotic, and again, because just historically they're generally idiots, and they sell products that don't really have the level of labeling that is required. And so just because they're labeling something as having a live culture of like acidophilus or something like that, I wouldn't necessarily take the company's word for it, because supplement companies aren't heavily regulated. They can lie all the time, and they don't run into the same legal problems that food or drugs do, because they're really an unregulated industry. But if you know that you have one that works, the question becomes, do you need it? Well, it depends on the situation. Now, the biggest situation that I would look for is someone who is on antibiotics or someone who has just run a course of antibiotics. I would consider, obviously, taking in some live cultures, like, again, acidophilus. Probiotics are basically the beneficial and the good bacteria that you need in your digestive tract, not the bad ones. And there's a fine balance between the different things going on in your GI tract and intestines as far as the balance of these different bacterias. And it isn't good for you to have the healthy ones go too low. And antibiotics are indiscriminate. They kill off any bacteria that particular antibiotic is capable of killing. It doesn't care if it's good or bad, it just kills everything that it can. So it tends to kill these off. So that's the case when you might want some. Now, a good source of these could be foods that have the probiotics added, like certain types of yogurts. They could be anything from dairy-based to soy-based yogurts can have these live cultures in them, but you need to make sure that they say they're live on the label, or else assume they're not. So that's another way to replenish it. But as far as needing them outside of a situation like that, I'll put this bluntly. If you start taking a probiotic product and you take it for a month and you come off of it, but it seemed to have helped while you're on it, but your problem returns after you come off of it, you have a bad diet. Your diet is deficient in soluble fiber, and therefore you need to be eating a better overall, more balanced diet with a lot more soluble fiber, which means more whole grains, particularly more fruits and vegetables. Your diet's deficient. That's why you're having those digestive issues, and you need to be supplementing probiotics. If you really are deficient in those bacteria, what you can generally do is you can spend a few days supplementing those live cultures through some form, whether it's yogurt or a pill. And if you increase the soluble fiber in your diet, you can come off of those after a few days, and the problem will be improved dramatically for months. So if you're not using antibiotics and that's not sorting it out, and you know that you're eating enough soluble fiber, then you have some other medical issue going on and you need to consult a doctor. You don't need to be continually taking a probiotic supplement for 2 or 3 months straight if you can't fix it with your diet because there's another medical issue. And you should probably consult a gastroenterologist, not be relying upon over-the-counter supplements. But if you've just gone through antibiotics, or you're just trying to boost that count as you're improving your diet because you feel like you're deficient because of whatever signs you're seeing in your GI tract, then by all means, a few days, but you don't have to get it from a supplement. You can get it from foods. Do it for a few days, increase your soluble fiber, and the problem should be sorted out. But yeah, there is a legitimate need for those, and particularly with antibiotics out there and people needing antibiotics for different reasons, there is a genuine need for probiotics as a result of that. But it shouldn't be used as a fix to try to fix your crappy diet, because it's cheaper and healthier overall for you to just fix the problem with food by eating the soluble fiber that you're not getting enough of. Because a soluble fiber is what these bacteria eat, and anytime you put bacteria in an environment where they have a proper environment for them to survive and they have a sufficient food source, they will multiply exponentially. With the amount that are in that one probiotic pill, in the right environment, if you were to take it one time, that pill, inside of a week, there will be more of that stuff in your GI tract that have grown from what was in that one pill than are in 10 bottles of that probiotic. So if you're eating correctly and everything's right, you shouldn't need to take it more than a couple of days, and then the chain reaction starts and you're good to go. Alright guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh.